my name is Rachel Rourke. I'm 24 years old from Australia and I play volleyball professionally, and this season I'm playing here in Sopot. This is my second season here in Poland, and so it was a while ago for my first impression here, but I remember that everybody was really friendly and they welcomed me into the town and the club. Polish people are very welcoming, and so that was very nice to have. I think always when you go to a new country and into a new culture, I always wait to see what other people are doing and how they're doing it. When you go inside, you know, if somebody's going to take off their shoes, or, you know, where to put your jacket or things like that. So I always follow by what the example in front of me is doing, so that I try not to offend anyone. I really enjoy the city of Krakow. I've been there a few times, and each time there's something new that I get to see and walk around and explore, and it's very interesting to see the history of like the buildings, and you can also see the history and the people as well, just how they go about their day. I mean, in Australia, the oldest building that we can see is maybe 200 years old, and because that was when the Europeans settled in Australia. But in Krakow, you know, you have up to 1,000 years old, maybe older, that some of these buildings have been there for. So to hear stories about why there's only a section of the wall surrounding the old town, or, you know, with the St. Mary's Church and stuff, it's very enjoyable to see and explore around. I always enjoy trying different cultures' foods and sort of sometimes hearing about the history of where it's from. I think a very, very stereotypical thing for Poland is like potatoes and very hearty food, so very heavy food to, you know, keep you warm in winter. And so I think that's been really enjoyable, especially my first winter here. People need to keep warm, and whereas in Australia we have a lot of light food because it doesn't get as cold as it does here. So there's always new and fantastic food to try. I was very fortunate to spend Christmas with a teammate and her family and her husband's family. It was very fun and enjoyable, and Christmas Eve we ate a lot of food, a lot of vegetarian food and seafood, and then the next day we went to another house and ate another 12 dishes or more of very, very good Polish food, and there was a little bit of vodka involved as well. I don't think I've ever eaten so much food in 48 hours, so it was very good. Polish men, I've met a few good ones, but most of them have just been the husbands or the boyfriends of teammates. I've had a very good impression of them. They're very easygoing and relaxed, and, you know, they like to have a beer, and so yeah, they've been good. I think that Polish men can also try to be tough and macho, and but in reality, yes, you know, you can see that really they're not. So they're a little bit softer sometimes, but no, it's good. It's a good thing. A pretty good stereotype of an older Polish man is bald with a bigger belly, you know, drinking too much beer and alcohol maybe. But there's been some, you know, I think being an athlete, we are around sort of more fitter men, and so they're much better to look at and be around. I guess one bad thing about Poland might be the trains. I had a bad experience last year trying to go from Krakow to Prague, and got bitten by what we call bed bugs, and so I ended up with about 200 bites from just on my right arm and a few other places around on my legs and back and things like that. But it was a very uncomfortable 2 weeks of sort of always scratching and things like that. So yes, the trains sometimes aren't the greatest. Maybe also the Polish roads aren't the best either. So forms of travel here can be difficult to get around. But if you don't have, if you're not flying everywhere. I think Polish people have a pretty good view of Australia, and maybe their stereotypes do the country justice. And any time I mention that I'm from Australia, people say, oh, I really want to go, I've heard it's so beautiful, or that they have been and they haven't want to leave. It's pretty nice to hear that people think that my country's a paradise, because, I think so as well. Everybody loves kangaroos and the emus and koala bears and stuff. So it's pretty nice to have a pretty special sort of lot of animals and plants around that you can't find anywhere else in the world. Polish people view Australians as very friendly and kind of relaxed and no worries and things like that. So, and I feel that I'm like that myself. So I think it's good. It's nice that Polish people and other people throughout the world think that we're like that as well, because we are. I don't really know too many stereotypes for Polish people. I've got a couple of friends that are Polish, but you don't hear a lot. But drinking is the biggest one, I think, with a lot of vodka and everything like that. And then, as I said, the big, warm, hearty meals, potatoes and meat. In Australia, we have our tallest mountain is called Mount Kosciuszko. And I found out when I was here last year that the mountain, the name of it is actually Kosciuszko, I think, and that he was a Polish man. And so it's interesting to learn that. I don't think I learnt that in school in Australia, but then come to Poland, and I think he helped in America fighting for freedom, something along those lines. So, and it's interesting to hear the different pronunciation of the name as well. It is so different from the English language, and from how you pronounce a word. And then I remember when I first saw the word dziękuję written on paper, and I was very confused because I had no idea that it started with a D. Oh, how does that work? And then, so starting to see some of the different letters in the alphabet that are different, and hearing the sounds that they make, because that is all new to us. I think Polish swear a lot in everyday language and talk. I hear it a lot on the court and on the bus and things like that, and usually they're the words that I pick up on, and so I hear that word and then maybe put another word with it, and generally get sort of a sense of whether the conversation is going good or going bad just from which words I hear. Maybe one funny or Polish fashion thing here that I've noticed is that on the court, a lot of the times, if one girl buys something, then another one, we all have to have it, or we all have to do it. So last weekend, one of the girls saw on another team, one of the girls had her nails painted differently and she hadn't seen it before. And so she, called her husband over, and the husband had to go and buy the new nail polish, which was the new latest and greatest. And then the next day we all went and did our nails with the new nail polish. So it's pretty entertaining, new earrings or new nails or clothes. Dziękuję. Thanks for having me. It's been good, and we'll see you around.